This is the John Hallett Podcast with John Hallett.
Because the way we're living, we need to change it, make it change today. And all learn from failure. Maybe they just wanted it a little bit more than you. That's probably the fact.
And now your host, John Hallett.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Glad you could join me again. Hope you guys enjoyed the last couple episodes. We always enjoy feedback. That black belt or the path to black belt, whatever Josh named that one, seems to be popular. We're going to be putting that on as part of the Peaceful Warrior kind of automation when somebody joins, that they're listening to that. But, as always, the path to black belt is just getting in and training some more. We're going to talk briefly or maybe extensively, who knows, where we go off on the book, same as ever. We talked about that last week. We're going to talk about another chapter this week and how it relates to things that we do here in self-defense and everything else. How you doing today, Josh?
Oh man, I'm fantastic. It was a light training day so far. I still got some crowd I got to get done, but I feel good. Kind of woke up, the hands hurt. That's just age. Yeah. Just got to work them out, you know what I mean? But other than that, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. A little sore from yesterday's Project Fit workout, but it was a good one. So
it's Jenny's fault, so we'll just thank her for that.
It was my workout.
Oh, it's John's work. Throwing her under the bus, but not good reason.
Yeah, just throw her under the bus. That's hard. Somebody else's fault.
Right. HR phone call.
So that is all good, and we've got the Clear Sky Defender training on Saturday at 11 o'clock here at Rocky Mountain Self-Defense and Fitness. So if you guys are interested, just get on the band and post your name or just show up day of and you'll get on the roster for attendance, and that's how you sign up and pay. Super easy. Incorporating the blade into self-defense, which is always tough.
It's going to be fun.
Gym party also at 6:30 this Saturday the 20th. But yeah, incorporating a blade. We were talking a lot about incorporating a flashlight.
Yeah.
Into self-defense. So I think there's some good content there and just working through.
Yeah.
Like any tool, having it in your hand, it can be an issue when you go hand to hand.
Mm-hmm.
It really affects your clinch and a lot of other things.
Just getting to the tool was
just getting to the tool, it's the whole what if, what if there's dragons?
Yeah.
I got from a guy that used to train here as a law enforcement instructor, Les Stevenson. What if there's unicorns? What if there's dragons?
What
and
if?
You know why?
Why?
There's unicorns?
Why?
The dragons need something to eat.
What kind of cruel son of a gun came up with that?
I love it. I love dragons.
You can't eat unicorns like that. How are we going to get Skittles?
We need Skittles? Josh, you don't need Skittles.
I was never into Skittles.
Saturday night.
Right.
I never liked Skittles at all.
Like Snickers and peanut butter cups. Those are the ones that if I see them, I'm like, oh, stay away. Because they're my favorite. They're delicious.
Yeah. But, dragons, that always gets the little girls in class. Right. They're like, what if? There's always a what if.
Yeah.
There's so many scenarios. That's why you just train. It can be fun, just different things. One big thing we've been on, student, just assess. Stop disconnecting at the end of the rep. And I'm not saying it's easy. We all need that reminder, but move and just make it part of your training. It's got to be part of the rep that you're looking around and assessing.
Yeah, it's easy to forget. I forget to do it sometimes, right?
Yeah,
back in the holster, and I'm like,
all do it.
wait a minute, I didn't even look.
That's why just throw one of the new patches you can get on shop.rmsdf.com. I haven't put them on the Clear Sky channel.
That one's nice. I like that one.
The Train More Cyclette.
Yeah,
we just got the big. This comes in white and black.
Oh.
But it used to be easier. They got rid of a feature of crossing it to your stores.
What?
So you used to be able to just upload this to the other store. It's super easy.
Yeah.
They got rid of the feature for some reason. I'm kind of disappointed.
You could sew those right onto a sash, right, and then get it for the attendants. It's been talked about to actually earn a real sash.
Really?
Yeah. I was talking with HR and
they were going to get a sash.
Yeah.
Is it camouflage?
I don't know. It's in her hands. It could show up in pink sequins for all I know.
Oh, she won't do pink sequences. I don't think that won't happen with my wife.
Oh, but she would do it for me though. Like, yeah. Or my wife will end up going and.
Yeah, you can get patches. You can put them on a sash. Actually, we were talking. This is one of my. I love that. Just so. I mean, people don't know what the heck it is. Maybe to ask questions, but I do like. Suck Less gets a lot of feedback. I was in the Bahamas. That one we got the gunfighter one for the Citizen Defender.
Yeah. It's a good shirt to have.
That's on. Again, shop. I like the black version of Suck Less.
I do too. That one. But a lot of my stuff's black, so it's like, it matches.
We do bad things. And for all you ladies, we just uploaded, I don't have them. We added Hit Like a Girl.
Yeah.
On to the site yesterday.
So they hit. Get it today. Hit Like a Girl. Get it. It's a hit. It's a hit.
There's another one. There's another one, Krav Maga. It's bigger. It won't fit on a patch. Find out what Hit Like a Girl means. I forget what the heck I did.
Yeah.
So those are good ones. But, having that flashlight.
It's weird, isn't it?
You're hitting somebody with a deadly weapon. If you noticed no weapons on this guy, nothing in his hands, doesn't appear to be anything in his waistline, that's always extremely tough. Pockets are always extremely tough.
Yeah.
And they go to throw the simple assault punch.
Yeah.
My instinct is to start hitting with the hand that has the flashlight, or like what we talked about today. Is that flashlight, are we just incorporating that flashlight lefty into our training? Mm-hmm. And I can see it both ways. So obviously it's valuable to do both left and right. It's definitely more natural having that tool in my right hand.
I like having a light anyway, just because I want to see where I'm going sometimes, right? I mean, it's useful to have a light on you, no matter what you're doing most of the time. If you're in a service industry, you've always got a light on you, right?
Oh my gosh, right? That pipe
use it here,
in the eaves of the gym, and I'm, it's got a little ambient down one end, but I'm way down.
Yeah.
I've got my flashlight. I was just under my sink because the plastic little thing broke.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Is it the drain that came down?
No, so the little plastic thing for the soap dispenser.
Oh, okay.
So, boom, 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 and when things go wrong, I'm not blaming my wife, she's gonna be mad, but even just the other day, she was banging her, I'm like that loud. Like if the mic is picking up, she was banging on
No, I don't see you doing
not
really
get the cursor to go to highlight to type in a text box. I was like, hey, how about you just reset the computer? Just turn that thing off. Right? That's like the tech support 101.
Right. Turn it on,
reset the router.
Turn it on. Yeah. Right.
Turn it off. But she's banging on it. She bangs on her phone. So we'll bang on that soap dispenser to get a little bit more. She'll bang on it. I don't know if that's the cause. If it's just cheap, right?
Yeah.
The way our modern code, like
he's not blaming you.
Break. But I'm blaming dumb. So literally the day before, maybe two, but I'm pretty sure it was the day before. She's filling up the dispenser.
Oh.
And then the next day, I'm like, what did she do? Did she not fill it up all the way? The kids always use way too much soap anyways. I'm like, let me fill this thing up. So I fill it up.
Yeah.
A lot. Because I've got it pretty guesstimated out of how much it takes.
You don't want to do it again later. Yeah.
Just by chance, something had gotten in the garbage disposal and I need to go under with an Allen wrench and adjust it.
Yeah.
But the same thing, I'm using my flashlight to try to find what is that and getting in there. But then as I went to do that, and I was removing all the stuff that's underneath your kitchen sink, soap.
Oh my gosh.
It was everywhere.
Oh my
So
gosh.
the dispenser, and then I find the little plastic thing, and I'm like, oh, it came unscrewed. How did that happen? No. Right below your threaded screw, just like on a soda bottle, it had broken off.
Oh no.
And I had filled it. I had to clean it up with I was using a really thin spatula.
Yeah.
It didn't have any slots in it.
You gotta scoop it
something
out.
And I was scooping out and being all cheap, soap was super expensive, and pouring it back into the thing. But it was also super convenient because I'm like, oh, I need something to put all this soap in underneath.
Yeah.
But what a disaster.
Well, yeah, soap's hard to clean, and it just shows you anything that you use can break.
Yeah, when the new one, underneath there with the flashlight because you can't see anything.
Right.
Having that tool like any others, my wife's always like, you're crazy. You have all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to need or Leatherman.
Right.
I don't know, but when I need it,
it's there.
And actually, the kids were, I don't know what she's like. What's in your backpack? I'm like, well, there's medical and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, since you gave me I'm like, if you need that tourniquet, you need it right now. And we were joking, like, oh, I don't have a tourniquet now.
Right.
Oh, you thought that was stupid? Are you bleeding out?
Got all the kid stuff here, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're bleeding out. Oh, do you want the tourniquet that I've been carrying around? Like, by whatever odds that I need it?
Yeah.
Oh, since you're giving me shit, I'm not using it on you. That's what I was teasing her. I'm like, I won't use it if you ever need it. I mean, since it's stupid to you and silly, and I think, a lot of people are like, it's silly to have a gun. When are you ever going to need that? Whenever you're going to need self-defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you need it, you need that tool, whatever it is, as quick as you can. I always, like, when I moved to Colorado from Nantucket, oh man, Home Depot is really freaking far away. I mean, Nantucket, you could, a far drive, it was like a 10-minute drive, maybe 12. I'm like, that's what it takes me to get to the gym every day.
Yeah.
You're like, when I was like, oh man, I'm trying to do stuff and you needed stuff at Home Depot, you're like, oh man, this stinks. I gotta go all the way to Home Depot, come back to continue the project.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the neck. I mean, you need a tourniquet or you need a knife defense. You need it right then and there.
Yeah.
There is no, oh shit, I wish I learned self-defense.
There's an old Tupac saying. He used to say, I'd rather have it and not need it. And he was talking about it again at the time. I'd rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
He used it. I got it.
Oh,
I'm like, he didn't come up with
Hey man, I heard Tupac say it first in an interview. I was like, it's gotta be Tupac. But like when he said it, it made sense, right? It really resonates. It could be an older quote, probably.
It definitely
is. Okay.
Yes, it's definitely not.
I don't know. I still feel like
I don't want to say definitely.
Right.
There's a percentage there, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, I'm attributing it to Tupac.
The way you heard it the first time.
Yeah. And I was like, it just went off. I was like, he's right though. I'd rather need it and not have it because I do have a bag. Tara started making fun of me because she's like, "Oh, turn into John too," and I was like, "Shut up, Tara." And
when that happens, like John, I'm going to my plan B.
I know. I've got a tourniquet in there. I've got stuff to stop perforation wounds. I've actually got 2 tourniquets on me because I've been in situations. I've had to pull somebody out of a car once, and they were bleeding really bad, and they needed a tourniquet. Well, the other person in the other car also needed one. And then I went to my belt because I had nothing else at the time.
Yeah.
So I always carry, 1 is none and 2 is 1. That's the old rule, right? With lighters and survival.
That was Run DMC?
Maybe. I don't know. I would love that. It might have been an Aerosmith thing.
Yeah, that was Aerosmith and Run DMC.
Yeah.
When they did that little merger there back in whatever year.
Great song.
That was,
I actually love that. That was cool. But
they did it well because that was good. That was a good collaboration there way back when.
But you want to have it on you, right? I mean, if I have all this stuff but it's at home and I'm away from home, it's only good to me if I'm at home.
Yeah.
And I'm away from home more than I'm at home most of the time. And most people are, right? We all have jobs, are always away.
Having stuff because you might need to get back home. It's a far possibility, but if I need to get home, that's how I feel when we can. I forget when Jenny said the next time we can go that it's not rented, probably after ski season, our VRBO condo. I'm like, I take a rifle up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I have to get back home, I don't want to be stuck up in Silverthorne
without something.
With a 9mm? What the hell? I want my AR.
Right. I do too. Right.
What,
And at a minimum, sometimes I'll just take a shotgun. I want to have something a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Right? I need something a little bit more if things go horribly wrong, right? And that's all I'm planning for. And it's okay to plan for those things.
Yeah.
People think that I'm crazy when I want to have food, and I want to have water, and I want to have ammunition. They're like, oh, you're just one of those weird, dumb prepper types. I was like, no, I just want to have it because it doesn't take long for stuff to disappear on the shelves.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like George Thorogood that said your pistol's only good for fighting back to your long gun.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what it's... George Thorogood. Wait, I don't remember him. I heard a Navy SEAL said that once. But it made sense.
It wasn't George Thorogood.
No. Listen, I'm never going to live the Tupac thing down. Never say anything bad about Tupac.
That's funny. Aerosmith was actually my first concert I ever went to.
Really? Mine was Bon Jovi.
Was it?
Yeah, and like...
My wife's was Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, but that would have been like hot that generation. I was in love with Debbie Gibson. Remember that old name? Like when I was a kid, I was like, oh, that's my crush. Like that was my crush.
Yeah, I didn't really like her. I was probably like the girl in White Snake video or something.
Oh yeah, her too. She yeah.
But yeah, Cyndi Lauper first one. I lucked out because my uncle was long-term friends and actually my aunt that it's really however you classify it. He was married to my aunt. He was long-term friends with the drummer Joey Kramer. So I got to go backstage to Aerosmith as my first concert. I'm back freaking stage, meeting the band, and they actually told me I've got a picture signed by all of them that they rarely did that. I mean, again, somebody who knows what, I'm back there, I'm like 13 years old.
Wow.
And I had this freaking picture, and somebody's like, oh, you signed it. And somebody looked at it and was like, oh, they all signed it. Whoa, kid, they don't do that a lot. Yeah. I mean, I have no idea. It could have been, I don't know, but somebody was like, whoa. So
could be, right? Those are the weird ones. My dad had something signed by Johnny Bench in the Big Red Machine, awesome. And it was on the scorecard from the stadium at the time.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
It's really cool. Like I love that stuff.
I used to watch his show.
Really, Johnny Bench?
Yeah, didn't he have a show on TV on Saturday or Sunday mornings? Oh yeah, I was super into baseball.
Were you?
I wish I kept that up, but I didn't.
Yeah, you've been athletic enough for it. But back to it. I mean, if I'm carrying a flashlight, and I am attacked, am I attacking somebody with a weapon, or is it just a tool? Like, how do I describe that to somebody?
Well, I mean, I would say I had my flashlight. It is a tool. I wasn't intending, but like any tool, a pencil is going to be terrible. Yeah. Like everything can be a weapon. Yeah. So I mean, I don't often have these, but I had these because I didn't get somewhere. We'll just go no brand because Josh wants me to. I mean, I'll mess you up with this fatty. Oops, I said part of the brand. Yeah, well, either way, I was shocked to see that. I was like, is he actually going to eat that? But, yeah, I mean, if you intend to hurt somebody with something, you can, right? I mean, a pen, it doesn't even have to be a tactical pen. It's not going to feel great getting gouged into your eye. Just like, I mean, there's those big not big, but like the Sharpies. Yeah. They're out there that they make them like metal, I think. I've never bought one. I'm like, geez, because I'm like, for me, I'm like, I'll mess you up just with a regular Sharpie. Yeah. I mean, that is going to be just the point on that. I mean, who cares about the marker itself? That tip in there is very small, and you start getting that gouged into you. Never mind just leaving the cap on there. Yeah. And now I'm smashing you and hammer fisting you in the eye, in the temple, anything that hurts. So
change your day.
I kind of said my intent with that flashlight was to light up the parking lot, or I am going for a walk at, it's winter time, it's dark at 5:00. I'm using that to light my way. There's a guy up front, seems sketchy. You're lighting up his hands. All of a sudden, you're into an altercation with this guy, and I'm hitting him with what I had in my hand. I can see it both ways. That now I'm hitting with a deadly weapon. And a part of me goes, did I drop that weapon? Because now I've gone hand to hand. I think some of that content, I think we should put it out. I think we should work through some of that content and leave it off of here of, what was kind of potentially happening with that flashlight in the hand. And there's all sorts of problems, and there's always something to work on. I like what Todd says, Todd Fossey from IDS, of, play the data. We're gotten bigger on it, of like, what's the common attacks? What's normally going to happen to you in Krav Maga? incorporating what we do in Citizen Defender and going, what's the highest probability stuff? Simple assault, and then it's aggravated assault. Now they've got that knife. Now they've got that gun. There's so much to work on.
Yeah.
There's so much that's where I get, we're just trying to get you home safe. Because if you start specializing in how much time are you going to incorporate working that flashlight into your training? We said I had that bad draw on you this morning.
Yeah.
And
It changes everything.
How much are you working with that versus, well, if I'm clearing my house, am I really using that flashlight?
Yeah.
Am I ditching it? There's so many what ifs. I've got a weapon light mounted. If I felt there was a disturbance, I'm probably just going to use the weapon mounted light to make sure it's not a kid sneaking in.
Yeah, especially if you've got a multi-member household, right?
There's that was told to me, I think the first time, Jeremy Stafford, a fantastic guy, I haven't trained with him in years, did my law enforcement training for Krav Maga, had us the story of the law enforcement officer shooting his kid coming in through the window.
Yeah.
In the kid's bedroom. He was sneaking back in and he shoots the intruder, but it's his kid. Seeing what the hell you're shooting is very important. Sometimes people are like, oh, you got a tactical light on there, and people kind of bash that online a lot. And I would like to see what I'm shooting.
Yeah.
Do I think it's a high probability thing? Not really.
Being a NRA certified pistol instructor and all that stuff, I've heard a lot of people talking about the what ifs, and one person described it to me at a friend at a local store. They said, when you point your weapon light at somebody, you're pointing your weapon at them. And if you're unsure of the target and you're using the weapon light to make that assessment, the probability that you accidentally shoot them goes up because now you pointed the weapon at them regardless if they're a threat or not.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's like,
there's so many what ifs.
Yeah, right?
What if?
Yeah.
Okay, what if it's my kid? Okay, what if it's a dude?
All right. What if it's
in
the bad
my
guy?
house?
Yeah.
And now, oh great, now he's going for a kid's bedroom. Where are they going in the house? I have people on 3 levels in my house. Where are they going?
Yeah.
There's always the what if. I go back to good pistol craft, good trigger discipline, keep your finger off the trigger.
Yeah.
I think, what are the likelihood of somebody shooting at, whoever said that? I think highly likely because people have terrible pistol craft.
Right.
They think they do, but they grab the gun.
Right.
And they have, how many times in class have we seen somebody just standing there like, hey, holster up. Hey, take your finger off the trigger. That we have people handing the gun back and forth in classes and going, hey guys, you're handing the gun to somebody.
Right. This is not
do
good.
it correctly.
Pistol basics.
Take your finger off the trigger. You're assessing. Take the finger off the trigger. I see people in Sewell with their finger on the trigger.
Yeah.
And now they're maybe blasting their knee or anything down.
Right.
Blasting their toe off. Take your finger off the trigger.
And
I think it comes down to training. I think
that's
likely, but what do you give it? I give everything 50%.
Yeah, it's a 50-50. I just, we ran this scenario the other day where it was super low light. I thought you guys pulled a knife on me. I shot and their thumb was up because it was low light.
Yeah.
I saw a thumb. I thought I saw a knife. It was a thumb. Yeah. And even if I had the light out, it would have been so fast. It would have been boom, boom. I probably still would have made the shot. So
yeah, people think it's so darn easy. I had people today shooting me with my backup readers that I have. That's like the case that they're in is just kind of silver.
Yeah.
And just holding those down at my side. Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Somebody had a gun on me, I believe. But I was engaged somebody else, so I was ignoring somebody else in class. These things are tough decisions, and it's your thing. We train decision makers at rmsdf.com.
It makes me really feel for law enforcement because they've got to really make choices on that kind of
Such a hard
stuff,
job.
right? And I didn't, I had a lot of respect for law enforcement to begin with, but now that I've seen what they can see, I'm just like, it takes a special person to do the job now because how many bad shots have I made, right? How many bad shots have other people made?
Yeah,
It happens a lot, and people are like, oh, those cops they're just so trigger happy, and it's like, no, it's just a hard choice.
It's a hard decision.
Because I want to go home at the end of the day.
They have a tough job. Them being like things like some of the stuff that's happened is crazy. But hey, I had this thought. I've been re-listening to The Coddling of the American Mind. I think that's what I'm listening to again. And they had some things on there that are just so interesting. One quick fact for all you adults, and it's super quick. You should read the book. They were talking about correlations in there, but people that have more sex make 3 or 4% more money than people that don't. But you're like, are they having more sex because
they have money?
They had the money already, or because having more sex, you make more money? It's a very interesting
I gotta
book.
call the wife real quick and see if
I stopped it. I was actually driving home, listening to it, and I stopped it, and I was like, the kids had went off, and whatever, and they were old anyways, but I was like, hey, listen to this. And I had kind of hit 30 seconds back too many times, but it kind of set it up enough that she's listening to it, oh yeah, and her HR mind oh yeah, this, and then he gets to that, and she just cracks up. I'm like, hey, 3 to 4 times a week. And I was like, do you want my income to go down?
Right. Do you want us to be
She's
poor?
like, yes. Yes. I do.
Leave me alone, John.
The book has some fascinating things in there, and, trying to make things equal for people. Our gym population for Krav Maga is 80% guys, 20% ladies.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, is the pro shop fair? Different things like that. I mean, girls definitely have more choice in pants or, yoga pants with us. But it was just interesting. I was like, why, when we go to voting and all of this political, tribal stuff and people just recheck it, recheck yourself and just freaking be nice,
It's okay to disagree with people, but still love them.
People do. I mean, there's just a lot of crappy people out there, but at the end of the day, I do care for people. But why don't we I've thought, why isn't it a cell phone? Obama gave everybody a cell phone. Why isn't, voter ID? Why is that? What, don't you need an ID? It's so corrupt that people are double voting now. Illegal people, illegal aliens are allowed to vote here? What the heck?
They get provisional ballots.
That you're illegal in this country.
Yeah. I cannot.
But yet you get to vote. You haven't even paid freaking taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, people are off the rails because the money's going to run out.
It already is.
As much as I want to help people, we can only help people so much.
Yeah. We
can't help everybody. This melting pot we can't keep having a free border. It's insane. It's insanity.
It just doesn't make sense.
And we can't continue to pay. I laughed at my sister-in-law, they're sending I laughed. And then I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have laughed.
Right? Because they're bringing
bus loads of people up to Chicago. Good. What do you think everybody else on the border states are facing?
Yeah.
You don't like it? Oh, but you support it.
Texas.
In your voting.
Nevada, Colorado, we've all seen
crazy,
it.
But
it's pretty wild.
In a job, in college applications, why don't we just have a number? You have a driver's license number.
Yeah.
There's got to be some way. I mean, nothing's foolproof, but what we're doing, why isn't there some sort of thing that can be on your phone? Maybe it's just like a chip. Oh, you can't have a phone. Maybe you just have the credit card chip, And that's embedded with your number. You apply for a job, you apply for college, whatever it is. It's not white, Asian, whatever they're putting on there. Because I'm like, we're all just freaking people. Why do we keep dividing by saying, you're this, you're that, you're this? They're just magnifying it by putting everybody into their own tribe on a job application. Why isn't it just, you're a person and you're a number? Because then they can't, it's not a name. You can't profile on somebody's name that immigrated here or whatever. Why isn't it just not a number? And that's how you apply for college. And the best get in.
Yeah, they should rise to
Or
the
if
top.
they want diversity, oh, well, this person rides horses, this person wrestles, oh, this person's in marching band. I don't know, like, that's how they base off your application,
Yes.
not off ethnicity.
Yes.
Why?
I don't, because the liberal mindset of equality, right?
It's just a number.
I
That
prefer
should-
just a number system, right? I just want the best. Just give me the best. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you come from. I kind of want you to be an American citizen if you're going to be working.
Well, I think, if you're going to be here, you got to at least do it right. I mean, we've talked about avenues to citizenship. I want good people in this country. But again, I can't help everybody. I mean, I said in a class we posted on our band app, that lady with the, it's pretty much an axe, it's not really a hatchet, in a convenience store, I would want to help. My number one job, get out the back door, go home to my family.
Yeah.
For me, it would be really hard for me not to want to protect innocent people.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for 30 years, and I know I could die.
Yeah.
My dying training, we said, like every week there's a scenario, or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, that you don't make it out of.
Yeah.
And
That's real.
I would still want to protect people. I don't know if I could live with myself of going, oh yeah, I got home, glad, go to my daughter's wedding, that's awesome. Oh yeah, remember those 12 people I ran away from that got freaking
Yeah.
macheted in the convenience store,
there is that
whatever.
survivor's
That what if
remorse.
you're, I mean, I would want to protect, but getting away.
You gotta weigh that. I mean, there's no obligation that you save people, but that's the thing about humans is that
It's like I
we
care
want to
about
help.
everybody.
Humans want to help naturally. You've got to teach them how to kill, right? That's why I always say when people say man was born evil, it's like, no. Man's taught how to be evil. Man is born innocent for the most part. And that innocence means that we want to help people.
Yeah, and just some of this stuff is just gone haywire.
Yeah.
And how a bunch of things add up, into, oh, now look what we are. Words are hurtful and everything else, and I just think it's crazy.
Yeah, nobody
I
has a
mean,
thick skin
again,
anymore.
if you don't want to use a word, you don't want the N word used, stop using it in your own culture. I'm sorry.
Make it disappear. Just
Like
don't use
the
it.
rappers, I'm like, if you don't want it used, then like phase it out, like whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Who the heck says whippersnapper
Right.
anymore? Stop using the word. Stop. I don't know why it's in songs if it's so offensive. Because it should just be offensive no matter who is using it.
And it is offensive.
And the same thing, I'm like, there's things that, whatever, somebody's gonna, nobody calls people a honky anymore that
No,
much.
I mean, it's-
I think, I don't
right.
know. But
Yeah, Denzel
you're like,
Washington.
hey, is that the same? I mean, not really, but it's still meant to be offensive.
Yeah.
But it's just a word, and I think it's crazy. That's something that just blows my mind. I'm like, why is it still in songs?
I kind of thought the 90s was an era when racism was like pretty much dying at that point. Everybody, like, I watched Bill Cosby when he was on the air. I know he's not a good guy now, but Michael Jackson was one of my heroes.
Yeah, it's
right?
different things. It's actually,
I didn't care
to
their
go to
color.
the website that birth year dictating how you vote.
Interesting.
And it's very interesting because they came up and I'm like, wait a second, I got to look up some people here. But I forget what years in the 50s. There was like a 4 to 5 year gap in the 50s that those people voted Democrat. but either side of them voted Republican.
Yeah.
But it was just a birth date and how is COVID going to affect further like these kids that were in there, they say, 18 to 25, 17, like how is that going to affect their voting after living through COVID and the riots and this and that and all of these things adding up to different things. It's very interesting. That's, the coddling of the American mind.
So it's cohorts, right, is what they call them, is that this group is born inside this cohort, and they all have a similar sort of behavior in the stuff that they do. And it's most likely culturally driven, they see the same things on TV, they have the same conversations with each other, they're seeing the same things in school, the same things in college, and that changes from cohort to cohort, right?
Because we're like MLK, Bill Cosby,
one of my heroes,
any of that stuff. I mean, it's just...
Mr. T was my man.
Yeah,
I love Mr. T.
Yeah, but they want to perpetuate hate and pushing people apart. That's what pisses me off about politicians.
Yeah.
That they just continue that. I'm like, talk about a crime of words. Like, you're doing this to get elected, and you're on purpose creating fear, anger.
Division.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
I love Yoda. If you are... So really it's an attack on what I call a national cultural identity. Because we don't have one. Because we love to say that I'm Irish American, you're white American, you're black American, you're this American, but you're something different. The easiest way to destroy any group is to factionalize it, because you cause them to start fighting each other. I mean, that's just how it works, like how we treated the Native Americans. We factionalized all of them. I mean, they were factionalized before we showed up, right? So that's why they could never, get together and win, because they could have, right? I mean, if they'd really gotten together, they would have won. But they didn't. So the easiest way to keep a population divided is to make sure that nobody ever has anything that they can circle the wagons over, right? They can't come together over something if you're constantly dividing them. And you can say, you can't, a house divided cannot stand. And it's true, right?
Yeah, that's, I hate when politicians do that.
It happens all the time.
We need to be united. When was the last time? 9/11.
Yeah.
And that's getting to be a long time now.
Most kids don't even know what it is now when you ask them. So what? There was a poll where 20% of Americans said that, or at least identified that what Osama bin Laden did was justified and okay. Because they don't know. Remember, everyone always told us never forget. Well, we forgot 5 years later. We forgot 10 years later. Easy. It's been 23 years.
Yeah.
22 years now or whatever. It's been a long time. There's an entire cohort of individuals now who are grown up that didn't even live through it. Never saw the 90s. They've only lived through 2 presidents, right? They think the way to live is under a Barack Obama presidency, and all of those things that they were doing is the norm. So that naturally these cohorts are just going to lean that way. Yeah. And it's really hard to change their hearts and minds when you're told that if anybody tells you different than what you know, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And then now it's just a fight. That's all it is. It's just a fight.
Yeah. Well, I want to remind you guys that I am available here at RMSDF here in Castle Rock, Colorado for private lessons. And we also have our accelerated learning program, semi-privates. Those are fantastic. We've got some outtakes that we'll be putting on the ClearSky.Training YouTube channel and other socials there, but I really plug. We actually hit 3,000 in there. I got to do some stuff for that contest here coming up. I can't forget, speaking of forgetting things, but that is a great way. I think those outtakes are little glimpses into that. But if you are a gym owner out there or just a self-defense, a Krav Maga student out there, you want help, I'm here to mentor you, online as well. I kind of do that same accelerated learning program, off of our ClearSky.Training website, where that web portal there, you can see our videos, you can sign up for that membership there. But I also do online mentoring and looking at your technique, set it up, at your place and going through and coaching you online, and also kind of no BS. Actually, somebody said to me last night, yeah, I like the no BS kind of thing that, hey, you're doing this wrong, get better, there's different ways of coaching, but
Sure.
let's just be honest here. We're talking about self-defense. Like, I think, like, it might be too late and you're in the street and you got run over by the truck. I use that one to the kids all the time. Like, there's things about being too late in a fight and now your arm is snapped. Now you're unconscious.
Yeah.
That stinks.
That's
So
different. Yeah.
Contact me. Don't comment on YouTube if you want me to see it. I will probably never see it. So hit me up on any of our stuff. You can contact me on armsdf.com, any of the contact forms. Same thing on ClearSky.Training, or my email is john@rmsdf.com. I would love to help you out, guys.
Do it today.
Don't stop it. Just I gotta make my coffee.
Pause. Big pause. That's so the audio. I can cut it.
Big spike.
Yeah, that's all I'm looking for, right? It just makes it easier.
Big spike. I'll go into that book a little bit.
Okay. You'll have about 20 minutes to talk about that book.
That's what I kind of thought, like 15,
Yeah.
20. Whatever else it is.
Nothing worse than drawing from a chair.
Chair.
Yeah, I hate it. I mean, the amount of cleaning you have to do. Same with cars, same with tables, same with sitting. I will admit the appendix carry is really useful when you're in a chair.
Yeah.
Super useful, right?
Yeah, that side.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting up, like,
Yeah,
I do the part.
I gotta make sure I
It's
don't.
got its pros and cons, but some of them you're like, I know we'll look down the ground and you can use that wall or the ground.
Sure.
It seems super awesome. But sometimes just going boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
In a situation versus, because you gotta really right if you're in that.
Oh, I gotta lean.
You've gotta.
And then
And actually, there, right? If they're in the window,
Yeah.
it's more natural to lean towards the window, isn't it?
I'll have to because I have to.
And now you lean closer to me.
Well, the thing is, also, you probably got the seatbelt over you at the same time.
Yeah, not to mention the seatbelt.
And
Yeah, I'm
even
always like seatbelts and shirts over the seatbelt.
just sitting.
So there's just draw. I don't have to clear the seat. I mean, if I'm just gonna blast out, then I'd have to I gotta get out and move. But the shirt isn't ever caught by the seatbelt.
Yeah.
It's underneath the shirt.
The only time that I've got a chest holster that works really, really well, but I don't want to be driving with a gun sitting on my chest, right?
Yeah.
Because then I can just pull out and I'd be there. And if cop pulls you over and you're wearing a chest holster and the gun's in or out, right away they're going to be like, hey, listen, partner,
Yeah.
this has got me nervous, right? I mean, I don't want to take that risk. I don't want the risk of a cop getting nervous,
Yeah.
especially in a traffic setting, right? Anything I can do to limit the fear of the police officer. And that's something that people rarely talk about, is how to deal with law enforcement once you've been pulled over and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll talk about that in another show. So where are we at?
All right. Am I back on my good frame here or
Let
whatever?
me fix you.
All right, guys. Look, the path to black belt is hard. It's not easy. I'm just getting back after it. I see that when you get your black belt, there's this burnout phase, whatever it may be. Like, oh God, I got there, and you were striving for it, and now it becomes like, gosh, I'm burnt out, and dealing with that burnout. You're like, yeah, it's supposed to be hard, And everything after black belt is just as hard, whether it's dealing with burnout or just getting better and making those advances through the levels and becoming that real. I mean, I hate the word expert, I hate the word master, but you've now spent this time training. Now it's time to really start putting this all together. And it's not easy. Whoever the hell said it was easy. I mean, I've told people, I'm like, it's not easy to get in and train just because I own a gym, but you know, sometimes it is, quote, easy for me because my job forces me to go on the floor and do things and demonstrate them and be around it. But sometimes it's just like, I've got to be teaching. I've gone through many different burnout phases of everything from working out to Krav Maga. You're just like, oh, I'm just over this.
Yeah.
But just having to teach the class, and that's your livelihood, that really changes it. So it's like, it's sometimes I think it's made it easier to deal with burnout. Not that it's, you know, sometimes just like your job, like any job, you're burnt out.
Yeah.
But now if you're burnt out in your training and you're burnt out on your job, oh man, that's
rough.
Yeah, that's hard.
I was listening to Terry Bradshaw. He was doing a segment on Fox, and he just said, I was sitting in the car with my dad. I had just won my 3rd Super Bowl, and I was burned out. Like, I had accomplished everything. I didn't know what to do after, right? I reached the goal. I got there, and there was nothing else after, right? And then that's why he was fighting. There was nothing. What else is there to do? I've done this 3 times. I'm exhausted. My mind's exhausted. My body's exhausted. He said he was burnt out. He was at the height of his career, and he was ready to quit and just walk away from the game. And that, it's very much like when somebody gets to black belt, right? You're fighting. You're getting there. You finally get to the championship. You win, and then you feel like there's this mental, I'm done, right? So what happens when you say to yourself, you're done? You quit. Or at least you stop, right?
Yeah,
I'm
you stop.
done.
You've quit for that.
Right. I've
reached
reached
you can
something.
come back a year later.
Yeah.
Whenever it may be, you know, that's.
But you're catching
hard
up.
for people.
You're going to be catching up again. I mean, all of that's perishable. So you're going to spend probably the better part of a year getting back to where you were. You know, it comes back quick, but it's just that whole, I've done it and I've stopped, right? So the trick is to try to find a way to say that the championship is never over, or at least there's no, you've got a goal to strive for, but you're not chasing, because once you catch it, you're done, right? We've got to figure out a way to say, you know, how do I just keep the chase? How do I keep the walk going?
Yeah.
And that's if you have that secret, like if people have that answer, please tell me, because I want to know what it is, because I want to tell others how to do it, right? I mean, I don't have that answer. For me, I just keep showing up. Yeah, I get burned out in days. But it's like, if I just sit my ass at home, well, what have I done, right? I mean, I'm just getting softer. Everything's hurting more.
Yeah, it's just getting there.
Yeah.
There's people like, how many walk through workouts? I'm like, I'm just gonna do it, go through the motions, and then you're here, and you start to pick up the pace halfway. Well, you were doing something. That's better than nothing.
Yeah.
You know, who cares? So you're just going slow and easy, whatever it may be. It's training injured, where I tell people to watch class, stay on track, don't stay at home. Come in and watch and observe. You learn so much watching and observing a class and just working that mental side of it and visually watching other people, seeing the instructor demonstrate. Enough people don't do that when they're, you know, injured. You know, sick, stay home. Nobody, you know.
Yeah, if you're sick, don't share.
Obviously,
I always say I don't want to share, right? But if you, yeah.
The amount of people that are like, oh, I hurt my pinky finger. Gotta stay home.
Yeah.
Like, we can, you know, some things we can work around.
Yeah. Fight with one arm.
Cracked your nail. I mean, it freaking hurts. And
You've told me that before. Fight with one arm. Fight with one arm.
Do something or watch class.
Yeah.
But there's so much to train on, especially at black belt. Like, you need to do more and more. My God.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 days a week doesn't cut it, I don't think. I mean, 3's getting better.
Yeah.
But just getting in more and more. That's the path to second. That's the path to third. Just continue down the road of working and working and working some more. It's, yeah, do you want to get thousands, in that almighty 10,000 hours of throwing straight punches alone? I mean, guys, calculate that out. If you really want to be that black belt, that's the top, right? I've spent 10,000 hours working self-defense. Don't even just go, because everything's a little different. Don't go just one technique. I've got 10,000 hours of working self-defense. I've got 10,000 hours working weapon defenses. Calculate that out, guys, and especially for black belts.
Yeah.
Calculate how many hours, and that, is it 5,000? Something like, hey, it definitely makes it a lot easier to get those hours when it's part of your job and your career.
Yeah. But even that, yeah, I mean, that's how you get there.
Sometimes it's easier. You don't have to freaking worry about anybody else and find training time. Yeah, being on the floor is training time, but it's not the same as you just training for an hour. So it is different that way.
And teaching others helps you too, because you realize your flaws when you try to tell something else to somebody. You're like, wait a minute, that's not going to work. If I'm telling them to do something and it's not working, then I'm doing something wrong myself.
Yeah.
And it really causes a lot of self-evaluation for me when I'm teaching my stuff, right? I'm like, plus I got to make sure I give them something that's good, right? And if I can't give them something that's good, that means I haven't trained to the point where I'm good enough to give it to them, right? So just self-reflection the whole time when you teach.
You're role modeling that. If your visual's off, if you're not doing something, the student's like, what did you say? Well, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
You've got to really check your technique as the instructor. You're held to a higher standard, especially if you know the exact technique, let's say, but now you're messing it up physically. You know it mentally, but you can't do it physically. That's where a lot of people struggle. I'm like, I can tell you, but you just need to do it. Let's just work right here. I can talk to you. Let's just go and do it. Get some reps. Who cares? Like, let's
just go.
It's whatever, it's like teaching girls to be brave. When we grapple, especially a lot of times, okay, this one, I'm like, will you stop talking to her and just wrestle with her? Where the boys are like, okay, wrestle, okay. We don't know what the hell we're doing, but we're going to try. Just try. But the ladies get caught up into, I think, the TED Talks, one on teaching girls to be brave. They want it to be perfect and like, okay, this is how we're going to work. Who cares? Just do some crap. The guys are doing it wrong. Who cares?
Right.
Like, the guys have their problem. They're trying to muscle it, but no, okay, so this, like, just throw her down on the ground and try to get on top of her. That what some guy could do tomorrow night to this girl.
Sure.
Just let her work through. You don't have to beat her and smash her, right? But you're like,
give them that
something. Stop talking for the entire round. And then the second round. And then you do something, and then you talk to, okay, here, do this. Stop.
Just wrestle, just
go. Play around, train.
Yeah.
It's really difficult for all of us. And you just train more. That's how you got to get to second degree, third degree. It's all about just staying on the path.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people want the easy button or the shortcut. There are real no shortcuts. I mean, we talk about the accelerated learning program. It's, getting one-on-one attention. I don't think it's easy. It's not a shortcut, but it definitely, individual attention might be the biggest shortcut to black belt. But still, you still need the training time. You still need that, but you're getting that individual attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people are talkers. Everybody's got a different learning style. But really, when it comes to a lot of the stuff, you just got to physically put the hands and do it over and over and over and over, because the solutions will show up as you're doing it, right? And that's what I started seeing. But there's a little bit of the talk. I mean, but it's like less than 2%, of the training is talking it through. 98% of it is just trying it over and over and over and over until you have that success. And I'm still doing, some days I'm just looking at my feet, right? Just wondering if I'm in the right place.
Yeah, I mean, if your foundation stinks, your house is falling down.
And that's all I'm concentrating on these past couple weeks is just, where's my foot? Where am I ending up on my feet? Because it's easy to fall over. I mean, it's easy to screw up.
Stay on it, and make it part of your routine. And it might be, hey, I'm hurt and I'm doing some mental training.
Yeah.
Watching the class, get on ClearSky.Training and watch our videos. I say it all the time, there's plenty of good stuff, but there's plenty of bad stuff, so watch what you're looking at out there. I mean, there's just so much that,
And the thing is, people aren't going to know what the bad is until you go and see the good. So come in and train with us.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just more knowledge. Like, oh, I've got another technique for this, and sometimes it's 50. Hey, that's a good technique, fits principle, but it's just slightly different. Like, there's so much to learn. It's where I was telling the class last night. Look, I've had at one point an instructor that had more certifications than I did, and I told him he sucked at all of them. Like, on that honesty side, like, you're not good at any one of them. Like, you're level 1 Krav Maga instructor. Like, dude, you need a lot of work, but you went and got this certification. It's not making you better, and people, like, instructors can get caught up in that. That's an instructor, I think, mistake is over certifications. You never really train. It's where I've been telling all of you guys with Todd. Well, I got another certification. We're going to do this one, and I'm like, guys, I feel like we've done 3. 1, 2, and 2.5, right? So we've done 3 certifications. You're going to number 2
in February.
Which
is almost a year after I took
Which I think is good digestion, and that's why Todd said to take a year, like, let's take some time.
Yeah.
Don't go with John to the next one. Go and digest more and train more with John.
Yeah.
But I would say the guy's like, yeah, I guess it's enough. Like, do we do 3, whenever the heck they're on it? But sometimes it's just learning more and more and more. It's not making you better. Sometimes I think it takes away from other things you've already learned. You got to be careful of that and just spacing them out. Krav Maga, and I'll be specific, worldwide, and John Whitman, who's Krav Maga Alliance, who I train with now, when I got into it and it was trademarked, you had certain times that you had to go between minimums of certifications that you couldn't go back to back on things. I know a couple people that I'm like, I would want to do a 7-day course and another 7-day course just because they lined up. But there was like the exception, extremely gifted athlete and extremely gifted martial artist. But it's still, that's a lot of information to digest over 1 week, never mind 2 weeks of training. Or, Todd's certifications are 40 hours.
Yeah.
And those are long ass days. It's great for travel and time away from your family. I like that aspect. But man, at the end of the day, I'm done.
You're spent. Completely exhausted. And you're just trying to get ready for the next day.
You're trying and now you got stuff to think about in there, and you're just mentally spent, and things are happening. That's generally why he's doing lectures at the beginning of the day when people are fresh. He's not doing whatever time we end, or 6 o'clock or whatever. He's not ending with a lecture when people are mentally spent and drained. It's more physical stuff, which is still hard, but it's not the mental side of things.
Yeah.
So, the same as ever. Morgan Housel, we were talking about this book last week. The chapter, It's Supposed to Be Hard. Like, I flipped the page to that, and I was like, oh, I'm going to love this chapter.
Right.
It's supposed to be hard. Everything worth pursuing comes with a little pain. The trick is not minding that it hurts. He talks about a scene, and I know I've seen clips of this movie, but talk about old.
It was
Lawrence of Arabia.
Trick is knowing that.
About putting a match out with his fingers.
Yeah.
And not flinching, and another. The trick then is not minding that it hurts for a second and knowing that it's coming. It's kind of like absorbing a round kick.
Yeah.
The trick is not minding that it hurts. You can condition yourself to getting hit and condition your body to taking blows and flexing your quad. But the big part of it is not minding that it friggin' hurts.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
That's the fighting part. It's all gonna hurt a little bit if you're doing it right. right? I mean, it's all going to hurt a little bit, but your body needs the hurt to learn and then to adapt and move on. And so it's a great line, because I remember watching the scene where he's putting out the candle or the match with his finger,
it is, yeah.
and the other person tries it. He's like, "Oh, it hurts," and he goes, "Yes, the trick is not minding that it hurts." And they're like, they didn't grasp it right in that moment, and people still listen to that and they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah," or they don't get it right. They don't know there's going to be a little bit of pain associated with learning and training. I mean, it's the only way you get better and grow.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be pain getting to your black belt. Like, there's just no way around it. It's like when little kids fall and somebody else laughs at them, and I'm like, "Hey, you're one step closer to black belt. You got to fall down to get your black belt. So get back up. Who cares? You fell. Who cares? Somebody laughed at you.
Right.
You just got one step closer to black belt. Because falling down and getting back up is you're doing some kick, technique, whatever it is. You fell on your butt. Get back up, and you're one step closer to black belt.
Right. Doing it right some way.
Yeah. There's a bunch of good little things in here. He talks about Seinfeld micromanaging the show, which we might have briefly touched on last week.
Yeah, not much. I don't remember.
But, he's like, NBC gave me a staff of writers, but they all stink. It's like there was something in there.
Yeah.
I didn't highlight it, but he was on like a Letterman interview, and he's like, "What if they just gave you reams of great stuff?" And he's like, "No, it's kind of the suffering, the pain, the process of coming up with that sketch, of it being funny, that it's not easy. If it was easy, there'd be gazillions of
everybody would be doing it.
Extremely funny shows, and everything that you did was just gold. That just doesn't happen, right? Not every episode is great as, I like Seinfeld. There's the episodes you're like, "Oh, it was a good one," but it wasn't a great one.
Yeah.
But some of his stuff is, you're like, geez, like, that's all almost kind of great. There's little things in almost all of them. Mm-hmm. But it's, he's like, "I micromanaged every word, every line, every take, every edit, every casting. If you're efficient, you're doing it the wrong way. That's so counterintuitive, but I think it perfectly highlights the dangers of shortcuts." Like, people are always looking for the shortcut. We talk about this all the time, whether it's their diet, they want to lose weight. People are constantly looking for the shortcut, and that's not the answer, people. Yeah. That's not the answer. The hard way is the way. Getting in there and sweating and going, I'm not having a second glass of wine. No, I just went to a birthday party last week with cake. Oh, there was just an office party last week.
Go to one more class,
There's always a reason to eat crappy, and the hard way is saying no to get to losing weight. It's people just want the easy button.
But once you realize that you see the results from the hard way, it's like, it was worth it, right? There's no worth it after the Ozempic shot, right? It just means you got to get another shot. But if you were to do the marathon, right, it's worth it, and you feel better for it.
Yeah, you would have been better if you lost 10 pounds versus getting another shot, another prescription, another
something.
God, those people just want you on endless prescriptions for 5 things, and another one or 2 or 3 to counteract what those things
to
do
deal with
to
the
you.
side effects.
It's crazy. People are like, "Oh yeah, no, like, do the hard work." Mm-hmm. You just, I don't understand. I don't think that's how humans were really wired to be. Let's look for the easy. Maybe they were just like, "Hey, I'm gonna smash you with this club. Go hunt for me."
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they probably would have circled around and clubbed me from behind. I mean, it's crazy how culture and commercials and everything just seep into our minds, and people are like, "Oh, I don't want to be cold.
Yeah, I want to be comfortable."
We're always saying it's a workout. It's not called Easy Fit, is what I say. It's not supposed to be easy. You're sweating. This is hard. It's supposed to be. It's called a workout.
Comfort.
It's not hard.
Comfort all the time becomes the norm, right? and then all you know is comfort.
Yeah, nobody can hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Nobody can say things that make me feel bad.
But if you do all the hard things, you realize that comfort is there to be comfortable for those moments, right? Just few moments, because you only really get real comfort in a few moments in what you do. At least that's my goal, because if everything's comfortable, I get stuck in it.
Yeah, like if it was easy, there'd be tons of black belts out there. Everybody would be attaining that in whatever martial art discipline. That's, yeah. The percentage of white and yellow belts to black belts is crazy because it's hard. And I had one second degree black belt in my class last night. That was it. I was the highest at 1 in a class of 16.
Wow.
So, I mean, again, guys, get in and train it off your butt. Stop making an excuse, but it's also a percentage thing. So, it's not easy. It's gonna hurt. Prepare yourself for that. I mean, I think that there's something he's talking about a friend, and I liked it because business is not easy, and it might just be working the corporate scene, which I have no clue about besides my wife's an HR executive and I hear a whole ton of stuff, but small business, this made me laugh. Same in business. My friend Brent says running a company is like eating glass while being punched in the face. Often nothing works, emotion runs wild, confusion reigns.
Yeah.
He also equated it to a daily battle. You wake up every morning, grab your knife, fight off challenges, and pray you make it home alive. But dealing with that hassle is the entire reason why it can be lucrative. Where there's pain, there's profit. He often reminds people there's an optimal level of hassle to accept, even embrace.
I could see it. I've worked in the corporate world, and it is the doorbell. But I'll keep talking through it.
Pause it or whatever.
Yeah.
See who's
Darn it.
What time is it?
It's 9:22.
9:22, yeah, whatever.
You probably just get back and wrap it up. Now I gotta edit. Thanks, John. Oh.
What did
You were just on the book.
Yeah, you just said something, I forget what.
I don't remember where I'm at. Yeah. Just start right back into it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Sorry about that little interruption. Trying to run a business and do a podcast.
It's small business. We're just talking about small business and corporate stuff, and
it's all hard. But the last thing I wanted to talk about, I think it's a good way to wrap it up. It's actually the end of the chapter in The Same as Ever. A good rule of thumb for a lot of things is to identify the price and be willing to pay it. The price for so many things is putting up with an optimal amount of hassle. Right? Are you willing to pay the price?
yeah.
You know, is that what you're willing to do? You want to get your black belt. Are you willing to show up 2 to 3 days, if not 5 days a week and train and put in the hours?
Yeah.
You know, because I think a lot of people think, I'm just going to come a couple, I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, I knew like, okay, my goal is black belt and I'm just going. I'm just going to go out. I didn't really know the plan. Even my black belts in Taekwondo. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get black belt. So I'm going to show up to every class I can. I'm going to come. You know, and I had a training partner. We used to meet on the weekends, and we used to do stuff together, and do a little bit more on Sundays. It's just showing up,
paying the price.
and you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get it. I never had a time frame. I'm just going and training some more. I think when you don't meet that time frame, I think people get, oh, man, forget it. Oh, I get injured. Yeah, it's going to set you back. Whatever it is, I'm like, who cares? Stuff's going to come up. Oh, I can't make this test. I just had knee surgery. Good. Whatever. Just keep training. Got to make you better. Had a little obstacle in the way. That's the way.
This is the way.
And, you know, people are always very, okay, so we have our minimums here at RMSDF of like how much time you need to spend training. We had like, okay, 4 years. Okay. What happens when it doesn't take you 4 years?
Yeah.
That it takes you 6. I think people get too wrapped in that as well. I'm like, just keep showing up and it's going to happen. Yeah, try to hit those goals, like people like goals. But things might get in the way.
In that piece there, he says that you got to pay the price, and he should have. I don't know if he does later, but it's not just a price you're paying; it's investing in the time for yourself. Because once you learn it, you really don't lose it, right? It's not like you buy a car and its value goes down over time and it disappears, right? It's just never there again down the road. But when you pay the price for yourself and you're investing in your own skill, it's not like it's something that gets thrown away, right? It stays with you.
Yeah.
So it's an investment in yourself. You are growing with the price being paid.
Yeah.
And that's,
I mean, it's the whole, are you willing to pay the price? You want to keep going. You're going to miss out on, oh, do you want to play on our men's league basketball team? Or, hey, do you want to do this? You know, it might be only 6 months and maybe you decide, you know, I want to do that with my friends, but it's going to set you back over here and it's going to take you longer. But are you willing to pay the price of going, yeah, no, something's going to come up. Maybe you have to change a training day. You know, people get really tied up into, I only come at 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, maybe you come at 6:30 at night. People get very tied to those things and, oh, I missed class. Or, you know, hey, my wife wants to do dance lessons on my favorite night. Well, maybe you're coming that morning. I mean, it just all depends to make it up. But be willing to pay the price of missing out on things. I remember even my Taekwondo black belts, like I was missing out on a lot of summer stuff sometimes. So, you know, friends doing stuff and being like, yeah, I'll see you after. But you missed out on what happened before. And always like, right, the fear of missing out. It always seems like it was fantastic of what you missed out on, but they just really, oh, you weren't here, you missed that. Yeah, you know, I'm going to miss out on something, but I was doing something else that I didn't want to miss out on more than whatever you guys were doing.
Yeah.
And you just got to be willing to pay the price.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff is going to come up.
Yeah. Life's going to
There's just no
jump in the way.
And the more you train, the better you're going to be. You know, train more, suck less. Train more, suck less. Gonna be better. All right, guys, I am here for you. If you need me, if you want personal mentoring, training, hit me up, john@rmsdf.com. And as always, support this podcast by getting those patches at shop.rmsdf.com, shop.rmsdf.com, and our ClearSky.Training portal, ClearSky.Training. That's as simple it is. That is the domain. Add shop.clearsky.training to support that channel, or support us, but it's a different shop. Obviously we'll be adding more, but like always, there's not enough time in the day. So if you've got a request for something, we just have that new, one of our members had something. I'm like, hey, that's not an RMSDF shirt. Somebody gave it to me for Christmas. I'm like, well, it's not your uniform. I'm sorry. If you really like it, let me know. There's a coffee cup on there somebody sent. Their family still bought another one, but oh well. Hey, but you want a coffee cup? You want something on there I can put on there? We've got that new girls stuff on there on shop.rmsdf. Peace out. Is that what you're telling me, Josh?
Bye.